Hey, this is WTii, and this will be a How to Creep Warcraft free guide. Now, this is a suggestion from Owsic Spinner because he's having a little bit of issue on knowing how to creep and what to creep and why he is creeping it, essentially. Now, it's going to be based on 1v1, although there will be no players or bots in this map since I want to focus purely on creeping and how you go about it. Now, I'm going to be playing as Night Elf because it's my favourite race to play, and I suggest it's the race that you learn with. So we're going to be covering that. So, without further ado, let's begin. I'll cover a bit of the build order as well, but really it's just focusing on creeping here. There's no specific exact right way to do it, but if I can give you a guide, then fair enough. So you want to grab one wisp out and build an altar. The rest go in the mine, and your next wisp will be rallied somewhere near the woods, either side. It doesn't really matter too much. It depends on where you like to place your buildings. Now, I prefer to place my moonwells at least one gap away from the trees. This means that your wisps can hide behind the trees and not get hit by enemy players, providing you've created a wall of moonwells and there's always one gap. So that way the wisps can get out, and you, yes you, can have your wisps protected at the same time, providing they're mining the trees and they're behind the moonwells. So your next wisp would be on the wood, and then your next wisp after that will be onto an Ancient of War, and then the rest of your wisps will go into the mine, fill that up to 5, and then they just keep spamming onto the wood. And essentially all we're going to focus on is just Demon Hunter from your Altar of Elders and Archers from Ancient of War, because there's so many variables here. You could go Hunt, you could fast tech to tier 2 and just try creeping that way, but I'm just going to cover the basics here. So first thing you want to do when you're looking at creeping, let me just get one more thing down and then I can concentrate on the creeping. So here I'll leave one gap. I think, have I taken out the sound? Can't hear sound. What on earth? Why is there no sound? Maybe I clicked on my thing. That's why. There we go. Right, I can hear it now. Right, okay, so just keep on spamming out wisps. You might want to get yourself an Ancient of Wonders as well. This allows you to buy items. It's good if you're going Warden first or a hero that requires mana, but Demon Hunter doesn't really. Now I cut off the wisps to make sure I can create one archer, maybe two, because the second archer should probably want to start building just before this moonwell gets finished, and then you can start making more wisps after that, but it's not really that critical. So what you're going to do is you're just going to spam out archers and your Demon Hunter, and you're going to take your Demon Hunter, and an archer should follow relatively shortly afterwards. That's it. Hotkey them all up as you like to hotkey. Select mana burn because you're playing in a 1v1 environment here. I mean, I could go evasion first for these creeps, but you're going to be expecting a human player, which you're going to be playing against, could creep jack you or attack your base at any time, so you need to be prepared to take him out. Now you can go for the little one first or the big one. Against these creeps, it doesn't really matter. Now, also with these creeps, you may as well just face them straight on, but I'll show you a trick. I'll just get my Demon Hunter healed up here, because there's not that many green spots on this map to flow to without having to go a great distance. So you really want to creep within a short space of where you are. You don't really want to keep traveling across the map all over the place. Just keep on spamming out archers and building moonwells. Now what we do, take one archer, hit this creep, run back as soon as the arrow goes off, and then focus down the Gnoll Wardens first. Now bring your archers so they're being protected by your Demon Hunter. You don't want your archers taking damage from the Gnoll Overseer. Demon Hunter will take a lot more reduced damage from the Gnoll Overseer, so make sure he is tanking it. That way you can take care of this creep camp quite safely. The reason why I pulled the creeps back also is simply because if you do get creep jacked, you're not stuck here. You can get closer towards your base, or you can run away and the creeps will stop chasing you very shortly after you run away. So now that they're dead, you want to go and heal yourself once again with your moonwells, which is why it's a good idea to play Night Elf. You could tech, for example, but I'm just going to cover this purely with archers. Essentially, however you want to build in your game and how you see fit is fine, but I'm only going to literally just spam out archers and show you how to do it with just archers. So that's fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move over to here, the next green spot. Really it doesn't matter. I know this isn't perfect, but I'm just showing you how you would do creeps generally. And keep getting your archers out so you've got a nice army here to protect your demon hunter. Now this is going to be super easy, but what we'll do after this is the orange spot over here. Now you can see there's green spots on the map and there's orange spots and there's red spots. Green spots are easy, orange spots are medium, and red spots are hard. Now the orange spots are a bit difficult in the sense that this is a lot easier, this orange spot, than this orange spot. So really this just comes with practice. I can't really cover everything because every map's going to be different. All the creeps are going to be different in their own little way. So all I'm saying is that you just get used to the maps, the creeps on the maps, and happy days really. You'll just work it out yourself. But generally you want to focus down the Ogre Magi if you're doing the blue creep, like this area, sorry, the orange creeps, with an Ogre Magi in it, because he casts Bloodlust. So any creatures or creeps that support other creeps, and provided they die relatively quickly, or just as quickly as the other creeps, take them down first, okay? All these other creeps do nothing else in here. It's only the Ogre Magi that was important there. Now because my Demon Hunter is weak, what we're going to do is we're going to do... Wouldn't want to do this spot, but I'll show you that it can be done, even though it's not necessarily a great idea. If that makes sense, because this area has a rock golem in it. Now rock golems are bad, they are nasty. You want to be so careful. Oh no, they don't. Okay, forgive me, I don't know the maps off heart. Like I say, I don't play it enough, but it's this spot that has the rock golems, the one with the merc camp, so that's fine. This is alright. Now I may as well just explain that certain creeps drop certain items. Now if you were going to go to the extent of learning all the maps and all the creeps, you would know exactly which pattern. For example, if you were playing Orc and you were a Blade Master, the very first creeps you might go to wouldn't be these, it would be these over here. The reason why is if you kill this Forest Troll Trapper right here, it drops a Tome of Experience, or it's quite likely to drop a Tome of Experience. Basically a decent item. It dies relatively quickly and you can get your Blade Master out of there without taking too much damage. So you're going to be much more greatly rewarded for killing this one creep here than going to your standard green camp. But this is complicating things a little bit too much for you, I think, at the moment. So we'll just stick to playing it normal. So this is the next area to go to. So we want to look at the creeps. These Forest Troll Trappers are annoying, but they're not going to do much damage to your archers because your archers take reduced damage from range. There's all sorts of factors to take into account here, so I'm just covering it as Night Elf and with archers and Demon Hunter just to keep things simplified. So I hope I'm keeping this simplified because I feel like the more I'm talking, the more complex this is getting. But Ogre Warriors, they won't do too much damage, so Forest Troll Warlord is the one you want to focus on taking down first, since he's the one that's going to do all the damage, and he also gives an aura, so he's a support creep for the other creeps around him. Do you see? The two troll trappers do a little bit of extra damage, so if you take him out, he won't do so much damage. One thing to keep in mind, wait for it, daytime. So always pay attention to nighttime and daytime. In nighttime, the creeps are asleep. In daytime, they're awake. So basically, if you get near them when they're awake, they are going to get angry and start attacking you. So yeah, be aware of that, and when the timer is about to turn into night or day. Because if you start attacking creeps at night, or you can get yourself into position when they're at night. So Tome of Agility, it drops a tome basically, that one there, and it's a nice item basically. It's a good item for a 1v1 game. Now this spot I can do very easily. This is another example. This is all just covering examples. This isn't the perfect way to creep or anything like that. It's just all sorts of examples you can come across when creeping. Okay, your archer army, it's fine, it's healthy, it's great. But your Demon Hunter, he's pretty weak. You know, if he gets hit even just a few times, he may die. So you don't really want him in the fight here, but you want him close enough so that he soaks up experience. Although I believe that Blizzard put in something quite a while ago now, because it is an old game, but still, it was one of the later things that they did where anywhere on the map you should be able to get experience for it. So this is something orcs abuse. I'm going on so much, but I can talk all day sometimes about this. Is for example, an Orc Blade Master. Say I'm against Night Elf here, and I'm Orc over here. I might send my Blade Master here and harass the hell out of him, try and get kills, but meanwhile I have 2 grunts in my base. Now rather than just leave those 2 grunts sitting here, I'd send them to the green camp here, or maybe the green camp over here, or possibly the orange camp if I can micro hard enough, my Blade Master over here, and micro the grunts and stop them from dying whilst they're creeping the orange camp. Because what happens is the Blade Master, whilst over here harassing, possibly getting kills, if he gets kills he gets experience from that, and if his grunts get kills elsewhere on the map from creeps or units or whatever it may be, even if they're miles away from his blade, from the blade master, your blade master will also get experience for it. So if you can manage that, then happy days. But I'll start going on this. So remember, when you're pulling on particular creeps as well, you don't have to do this all the time. You can just dive in there and go. But this is for position. You see my archers are in a nice position, and this makes it a lot easier for me to attack. So I'm going to put them all on hold position so they don't dick about and run into the creeps and get hit hard. I'll worry about moving them once the fight has initiated, but for the moment they're on hold position so they can't move. So you take your archer, you do one shot, run back. These creeps are all going to run after your archer, and then you attack move into the warden. Then you can shift click onto the next one, and I can move my demon hunter away from the fight. Then no overseer will mess around trying to chase off units. You just simply move back the unit that he's hitting, and that way you're going to take minimal damage, because he's also using travel time, which he's wasting before he can hit the next unit. So you're taking minimal damage rather than creeping him right up close so he can just hit you right next to him. If you're quite far away, he's got to travel further. Remember that. So we're going to go back to base. In fact, I may as well just build a whole ton of moon worlds just for a lot of healing purposes. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, don't forget about the shift click. I mean, I abuse the hell out of it on Warcraft 3, and it's fantastic for StarCraft 2 as well. Is just shift clicking, right clicking on creeps that you want to kill in a certain pattern. This is particularly good if you wish to macro in your base whilst you're microing against units. You know, if I want to go and kill these creep camp over here, you know, I might want to do something in my base at the same time, so I'll keep a distance from it, but I will go like right click on him, shift right click there, shift right click there, shift right click there. You see? And that way I know that my units will definitely attack the creeps in that particular order whilst I'm messing around in my base, doing whatever it is I need to do, and I can come back here and know that those creeps have been killed in that exact order that I shift right clicked onto. So here we go. Creeps go to sleep, but what creep doesn't go to sleep? The rock golem. These are nasty pieces of work. They go down relatively quickly, provided you've got a nice decent army, but I wouldn't suggest doing them until you've got at least quite a number of units, because they can make or break you, simply because they've got a bolt ability, which stuns you. And they tend to do it on a unit that's going to die. If they do it, for example, if I sent this archer in first, it gets stunned. Yeah, it takes some damage. It's not going to die from that. But what's going to happen is the rest of the creeps are going to attack that archer as well, because that's the first one to go in. So then whilst it's stunned, you can't move it, you can't micro it out, and it's getting absolutely pounded on by the creeps, and by the time you probably can move it, it's going to die. Now the same can apply for a hero if your hero is weak. So if your hero is weak, once again, we're going to assume that my demon hunter is weak as hell here. He's got 100 HP. You want to keep back. Once again, get yourself a nice position with your archers. A nice arc here relative to where the creeps are facing. Put them all on a hold position. Take one archer. Now, I'm going to explore this with the other one, just to, the other rock golem camp, just to clarify this. But I'm pretty sure if I attack with my archer, it will 100% get bolted. But I think there is a way to exploit it so that you don't get bolted, but you have to kind of move in and then move out, and you shouldn't get bolted. But let's just do it the bolted way. So we right click and move back straight away. Bolt will come on there, and now we can move in with the archers, and it's enough distance away from the creeps that they had to chase it, and by the time the stunners wore off, that archer is no longer going to die. Now you see your demon hunter gets bolted next, so just keep them back. Make sure you move any potentially weak or injured units away from the rock golem that could potentially die, and any ones that could get stunned and then one-shotted by him. So just keep moving units all the time, basically, just a little bit of, you know, flavour, just mix it up. Inventory is full, so it doesn't really matter now. Let's go to the other rock golem camp, just to clarify, out of curiosity. Now the red spots on the islands here, you're probably never going to do in a 1v1 game, but it basically has a giant red dragon, and I wouldn't suggest even doing it with this army. You might be able to pull it off, but you'll be weak as hell, because you need to consider when you're playing 1v1 that you could get attacked at any time, so you don't want to go creep crazy and basically put yourself in a very weak position where your enemies can then just attack and all you've got is red units. You know, that's not good for you, is it now? So what we're going to do this time, I'm going to try it with an archer, and we'll just see. I'll actually try it with my demon hunter, actually. I don't know if it reacts differently to units or heroes, but we'll try it with the demon hunter. Once again, get the arc. So Maybe leave a gap in the middle so your Demon Hunter can run straight back throughout. Keep your weakest units on the end. That's pretty obvious, but just in case you weren't aware of that, that's a good idea. Now we're just going to probably, if you get about this close, because it's nighttime, he's going to wake up. If it was daytime, if you get like this close, they're going to wake up. So see if I can just run in and then run out. I'm not going to use any abilities, and we'll see what happens. Get closer. Oh no, he still uses bolt. Okay, so maybe that's just a rare thing that I remember from a game. But what has happened there is we can spot is after he did the stun and I just ran away instead of attacking, he didn't bother to chase. So that gave me a little bit of extra time to kill the creeps. So that's possibly a better idea, doing it that way. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, what do you think was better? Once again, this is gonna. Oh, I'm interested there. Oh no. That's this spot over here. So once again, we'll go over this area, and then I'll cover a red spot. But I was just thinking to myself there, as I do constantly. Can't stop thinking. So yeah, it depends on which way you want to creep them, but that seemed to work better that way. Just sort of running in, getting a stun, and then running out. Because the Demon Hunter takes minimal damage, and remember the creeps are just woken up, so because it's daytime now instead of nighttime. I'm going to take out the Ogre Warriors first this time. I should have moved that archer back because that will. Oh, that almost died. That's something you need to pay attention to. Is your weak archers, they will get hit hard. Now, certain creeps will actually focus your weakest units first. This generally doesn't happen for most creeps, but there are particular creeps, and once again, this is something you'll learn the hard way. Time of agility again, nice. So this is something you'll learn the hard way, basically. So if you've got a really weak archer, it's probably not worth taking with you if you're going to go to a red camp like I am about to now, because that will get one-shotted by the shockwave. No, there's no shockwave. Okay. Once again, I don't know the creeps on this map. I'm just playing it by ear, so really it's kind of a good thing in that sense that, you know, I'm just showing you how I approach it, and I didn't intend to do that, but now I've done that, I'm going to move my units back, pull all the units away from my archers so they take minimal damage, focus out the Magi first because we don't want the enemy having bloodlust forever, then take out the priests because they do healing, so any support unit that should really go out first. You can possibly take out the priests first and then the Ogre Magi. It depends how you want to attend this. So yep, it looks all fine. Now say for example our Demon Hunter's going to die, he won't really, but move back the weak archers and let your archers take care of the rest. Maybe pull them back in, because generally if you take out your hero, okay, this doesn't apply to all creeps, but if you take it out for most creeps and then bring him back in, they shouldn't attack him again. They'll go, as soon as they lock onto another unit, they'll pretty much stick on that unit. But don't take my word for it, because in case you go and do it and you're like, hang on a second, you said this. All the creeps are different. There's different variables. There's loads of different creeps I can cover. But to be honest, it would take me all year to do it. So this is just a quick little guide to give you a general idea. If there's anything you're not sure about Alzic, then just ask again and I'll see if I can cover it, or just tell you basically to give you any advice basically. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching. This has been witty. There's another creep camp over here, but I won't bother covering that. It's just got a rock golem. Be careful against rock golems, okay? There's so much to cover, but it's so difficult to cover it within a certain amount of time. Otherwise, I'm just going to drag this on forever. So, once again, if you've got any questions, just ask me, okay? Thank you very much for watching. This has been Woody. Please subscribe, rate, and comment. Actually, I should just mention before I sign off, okay? Demon Hunter, or whatever hero you've got, once it hits level 5, it will stop getting experience from creeps. So once you hit level 5 and you've got no other heroes, say for example you've got a second hero, then you're fine. As long as that second hero isn't level 5, or any other heroes after that are not level 5 yet, then you're fine to carry on creeping, because they will continue to get experience from creeps. Otherwise you can creep for items that drop from the creeps. But basically what I'm saying here is once you hit level 5, you will no longer get experience from creeps, so you may as well go and start attacking the enemy if you haven't attacked them by that point, providing you think you can take them on, you know, and you get experience from the enemy. But level 5 is the cap now, because what happened is, I'm going on again, but this is old school. This is from Reign of Chaos, the original Warcraft 3. What happened is you used to be able to creep all the way to level 6. I think you could even creep beyond that, but at least to level 6. And what would happen is people would just ignore each other. They wouldn't even fight each other. It would be a race to who could creep to level 6 first and then attack their enemy. Because your level 6 is a super powerful ability, especially on a Demon Hunter Metamorphosis. But the majority of heroes have incredibly powerful level 6s. Game-breaking level 6s, which is the issue. people just get straight to level 6, use their go to the enemy, use their level 6 and win. So that's why it's capped at level 5. You can see if I killed anything else, I would get no more experience. So there you go. I can't think of anything else to cover off the top of my head now, so I really am going to sign this off now. So thank you very much for watching. This has been WTii. Please subscribe, rate and comment.